6 American things I can no longer live without. Lost in the Pond.
Losty. Love this channel, as always.
Yep.
Surprised we haven't done this video. It came out a couple of months ago. We haven't done it. I'm interested to know what... He's lived there a long time, so these are things that have stuck with him over the 15 years or whatever.
Yeah, these have got to be good things.
They have, haven't they?
Especially to think, they can't live without, considering he's... But then I guess he's... Oh no, maybe he's not almost lived there for as long as he lived in the UK.
No, what, 15, 16 years? I'm guessing. Well, he had at least 25 years in the UK, I reckon.
But not too far off.
Not too far.
Not like
it's a long time.
Yeah, so be interesting to see what's on the list. But there is a part 2 as well.
There is a part 2, which is how we found this video. Because I was like, oh, have we done part 1? Yeah. Smash that button, guys. Smash the subscribe button. Let's get into it. You ready?
I'm excited.
Let's go. What we got?
Hello, I'm Lawrence and I'm on a quest to uncover all of the memos that Britain and America lost in the pond, and one of those memos pertains to things and stuff. Specifically, things and stuff that after living in the United States for nearly 16 years, I can no longer live without. And this video is sponsored by Mondly, who are offering 96% off lifetime access at mondly.com.
Sounds like a great deal.
Lost in the pond.
Link in the description to Lawrence's channel.
In 2008, I had all these British people saying, ooh, don't you become all Americanized? And I hope those people aren't watching, because as you can see, there's no going back. I have become Americanized to the extent that I am now in fact an American citizen, and because of that, and since I've lived here for so long, you really do start to pick up an attachment to certain things. And people who've been subscribed to this channel for a long time are probably expecting me to say air conditioning right off the bat.
That's what we say.
I've done
I don't
that
think you'll go for the
times,
obvious.
and it's because I've done it 1,000 times that I'm not going to do it in this video, but just take it as read that AC ordinarily is one of the things I can't live without, even though I did in Britain for 26 years. And if you aren't yet subscribed to this channel, do that now.
It's only 10 years out.
Same here.
In the meantime,
Appreciate
here are
it.
American things that I can no longer live without.
Drive-throughs.
I feel like this one is just really embarrassing, because when I lived in England, we knew about drive-through restaurants in America and thought, that looks a bit too extravagant. What's wrong with catching a bus and then walking the extra half a mile to get to the place and ordering your food there? At least then you justify the calories you're about to eat at, say, McDonald's. And I held on to that feeling for quite a while, but then I turned 40 and realised that I like my comforts, that I'm lazy, and that my dog Arthur really likes drive-throughs, because it often comes with the promise of a puppuccino. And since I left Britain, I have heard that drive-throughs have popped up in Britain. And if you are British and you are watching this, have you experienced drive-throughs where you live? And if so,
we are British.
Not where we live.
Not in Jersey, no.
But drive-throughs are definitely
a lot more common in the UK now.
For restaurants like fast food chains and like your Starbucks and things like that.
Yeah, so
your Costa Coffee.
There isn't many. I don't think there's that many Starbucks ones, but like
I think
there's
a
few,
lot of Starbucks.
But like on the motorways, there's a few, isn't there? I guess.
Yeah, but there's like 3 in Rotherham.
Is there?
Yeah,
Oh,
I've been to them.
Oh, I haven't.
Costa Coffee. There's only Starbucks and Costa Coffee, I think, in terms of non-like eating.
McDonald's, Burger King, KFC.
Popeyes
has it as well. So yeah, the fast foods have it, but you don't have it like the pharmacies where you guys have and stuff like, which
or
is
shops
mad.
Or shops, like that,
or banks or stuff like that, which is pretty incredible.
Oh, do they drive in the opposite direction around the building to here? Number 2, mixer taps. You might have seen my YouTube short.
They are more common now.
Where I spoke about this phenomenon, which is less of a phenomenon and more just the norm.
So I mean,
we have mixer taps, right?
They are new builds. They're in there. Old build. There's a lot of old builds.
So not
in the
like
UK.
basically on the bath where you have the 2 taps.
In terms of 2 separate ones. A mixer is just where you got one.
Like we
you
have.
twist it. Yeah. Most modern builds have them in the UK. Obviously, if it's an old-fashioned one, hasn't been updated. It has the old ones.
Places in the world, but not in Britain. And if you don't know the reasons for that, go and watch the short in question. The point is, in the house that I grew up in Britain, and just most houses in Britain, the bathrooms and the kitchens have sinks with separate hot and cold taps. And for 26 years, I had to wash my hands like this. Get some soap, nice and foamy. Turn on the hot tap while getting foam on it. Run your hands under that. That's bloody hot. Turn on the cold tap to cool them down. Ah, that's nice. That's
really
a
Lawrence problem.
That's actually getting a bit.
Why is it
so what you do is you turn them on a little bit each, and then
No. We're talking in a lot of old-fashioned UK houses.
So you put one tap on at a time.
No. There's 2 taps.
I know.
Yeah.
But you turn them on a little bit, so they both got a little bit of water out.
Yeah.
So you have the perfect lukewarm temperature.
No. You're talking about 2 taps, 1 bit of water comes out.
No, I'm not.
What? So you're flicking between?
Well, they're not. It's not a massive gap. It's like here, like this.
It was a big enough gap. Sometimes it's like that. Sometimes it could be like that. Like that.
No.
It can be.
On
Yeah.
a sink, that's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
The sink's that big.
What do you mean?
A sink's that big in Britain.
No, I think that big.
No, I don't think.
Yeah.
I think there might be a slight exaggeration of.
No,
No.
not having that.
It's too cold now, and they're done. And I never once thought to myself, there must be an easier way to do this. I did turn the taps off too, I'm not wasting water. And then I moved to America, and I noticed there was just one faucet in the sinks in the house that I lived in initially.
So
And
much
I just thought,
easier.
well, maybe this is a quirk of this particular house, and didn't really think too much of it. But I did like the fact that you could choose the temperature that came out of the tap. It didn't have to be scalding hot, it didn't have to be freezing cold, it could be somewhere in between. That said, I don't think in the middle is the perfect temperature. That's too lukewarm. I'm the sort of person who gets his steak medium well, and so when I've had a steak and my hands are all greasy,
Gotta be medium
I like
rare.
my temperature to be medium well.
Medium
might have
well.
thought about this too much. One of the biggest American things that I can't live without, and one that I've not really spoken about publicly, is vans. And
Okay.
I know what you're thinking. Oh, Lawrence, you and
Shoes.
Tara have a Prius. That's
No.
hardly a van, is it?
Course,
Well, calm
surely.
down, you keyboard warrior. Is it warrior? Warrior? Because I'm not referring to the vehicle type. I'm referring to Vans shoes.
Oh, wow.
And
What?
as you can see, these are a little worn and dog-eaten, and they're in the process of being replaced. But the point is, these are my favourite shoe brand. And you might be thinking, Lawrence, I didn't
have
know
Vans.
you were a skater boy.
Yeah, they are. Vans is popular in the UK now.
Archie has Vans.
There's shops of Vans in the UK. Maybe it wasn't when Lots grew up. Yeah, Vans are in the UK.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
As we know, Avril Lavigne is a massive fan of this.
I don't
channel,
have Vans.
and I'm not a skater boy. Although, granted, I did once have an
You do have
addiction to
Vans?
Tony
You do
Hawk's
have-
3. The point
Yeah.
is, I am somebody with long legs, rubbish knees, and I don't like shoelaces.
Now, I should add that Vans has lace-up shoes too, but they are pointless.
Now, this is not sponsored by Vans. If it was, I'd probably show much nicer pairs of shoes. But I've just become a fan, you know, a van fan or a van. And they're comfortable. I walk in these every day with Arthur when he's not treating them like a meal. And they've been everywhere with me, from the beaches of Lake Michigan to the mountainsides of West Virginia. And they've got the scars and the odour to prove it.
Oh.
Americans, did you ever think that you'd hear a British person say this? I can't live without American English. Now, for
Okay.
me, more than most people, that's true because, firstly, it forms part of the basis of my job,
True.
comparing and contrasting our two countries' varieties of English. But it also plays a big part in my everyday life. I mean, firstly, I'm married to an American-born citizen. Secondly, and I've done videos about the precise Americanisms in question, I myself have picked some up. Many, in fact. You know, I come from a country where we are forever fearful of the Americanization of English within Britain. The thing is that I would say to that is that Britain lost that fight a long time ago. For instance, any
Yeah.
British person, and this is 90% of us, who've ever used the word hangover are upset that we have one, but at this point are probably completely unaware that the word hangover originated in American
I didn't
English
know
more
that.
than a century ago. Now,
I
I
didn't
wonder
know
if
that.
British
I didn't know
people at
that.
the time had the same reservations over the word hangover as they do quite a lot of American English. But then it got me thinking, we don't take any issue with most American English terms that make it over to Britain.
Whether it's military-derived words like radar or musical genres like jazz and rock and roll.
Okay.
Or a word as simple as hello. American English and British English have long influenced each other and
Yeah.
will continue to do so long after I'm dead. And on that happy note, it's time to get up off the sofa.
Wow.
And that's because I want to talk about one particular room in my house, and that is the mud room. And even though you find mud rooms in other countries like Canada and even to some extent Britain, it just feels like more American houses
Yeah.
have them. And
What
you
is a
might be-
mud room? It looks like.
It is. I can tell you
Oh,
what
you
this
know what
is.
a mud room is.
Yeah, it's a. Well, this is what I know it from
Oh,
the UK
excuses are
anyway.
coming in now.
But
Go
your
on.
mum, when she was like doing her thing, she had on a sketch thing, mudroom, and
Okay.
she told me that it was a room where you might have a toilet in it, you potentially might have a shower in it. I don't know. It depends on how
Yeah,
rich
yeah.
you are. It's where you put all your shoes and your coats. I think.
Oh. Oh,
Like
there you
you'd
go.
come in and leave all
And
your
then
coats and
yeah,
shoes.
it's kind of like a porch.
But I think it might be at the back.
Oh, well, Launch's going to tell
What
us.
is a mudroom? Well, a mudroom, as I've pointed out in previous videos, is a sort of entryway that just allows you to drag mud
Oh, there you
in
go.
there before you enter the
You nailed
main
it. High
part of
five.
the house. I mean, that might not be its official purpose, but that's what I use it for. And especially since I got a dog. You know, he likes to run around in this yard. Sometimes he drags me too. And so when we come back from doing that, I make sure we hang out in here first so that I don't have to bother getting a towel and drying his feet off. But I'd be remiss if I didn't tell you the main reason that I've fallen in love with this mudroom is it's a very convenient place just to store rubbish. I don't mean mouldy rubbish like food or stuff like that, but just sort of empty boxes that I don't have room in the recycling bin for yet.
Okay.
I've just realised that everything on this list is something that I could live without if I wasn't lazy. But the fact of the matter is, I am, which brings us on
Which is
to
fair
the
enough.
final entry.
Oh,
In
there's
the
Oh.
last 2 weeks, it's become very apparent to me that I couldn't make this video without including a piece of furniture that I spoke about a few weeks ago in a video all about American furniture, and that is
I was going to say, like, he was talking about his chair, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Adirondack chairs. It's been a good few weeks. I've used them very often while sitting outside with Arthur. Now, granted, it is the summer, so it sort of makes sense that I am out here, but I can imagine that I'll probably be using these in the height of winter, just not in a t-shirt, but a winter jacket. Because like vans, they are comfortable. And you might be thinking, aren't they just like a deck
that's
chair? And
all you need.
firstly, no,
Comfort.
because you don't have to fold them up and put them away. And secondly, on deck chairs, your arse doesn't fall back because there's not that diagonal slope. Whereas with these, there is. And again, appeals to my laziness. And then, of course, the arms that I spoke about in that video are majestic. I mean, you can fit your phone on it, for one. And number two, you could probably play an entire board game. I've got this idea that my wife or friends will bring along their other Adirondack chair, put it here so that they're sitting there, and we'll just put a board here, play checkers. The one thing that I didn't
thick,
mention in that
aren't they?
video
Yeah,
is that they're
they're
really
good
easy
quality.
to clean, and I know that because they're constantly getting covered in bird shit. That is one of the downsides of having it under a magnolia tree, which is so massive I didn't really have any choice. So that's my list, or at least a partial list, because
Okay.
like I said, there's hundreds of other things that I could have included. And if this video does well, my producers say, then we'll do a part 2. If it
There is a part 2. Obviously, it's done well. If this video does well, we'll check out part 2. Probably going to check it out
We'll ask
anyway.
our producer.
Yeah, we'll ask our producer. So should we do it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're probably going to do it. Smash that button, guys. Smash the subscribe button. Hope you're enjoying the content and watching the video.
Have a fantastic
And
day.
we'll see you legends in the next one. Peace.